Hi, fourth graders. Happy Monday. This is Science Lesson 34. We'll continue learning about different types of energy, but we're going to focus our week on motion. So today is all about what is motion. All right, so some vocabulary. Energy, this is a review. Energy is the ability to do work. Kinetic energy is when an object is actually moving, it is giving off energy. Potential energy is an object that's at rest. So it might have the potential to have energy, but right now it is at rest. It's not moving. And then friction is energy created when objects rub together. So when you rub your hands together, tires rubbing against the street, that is an energy that is called friction. Motion, these are some new vocabulary terms. Motion is when you change position. So think about when we move, our bodies are changing in position. Position is the location of an object. So first, if my hand is here, I move it here. I just changed it in position and I did motion. And then reference point is an object that we use to explain where another object is. So I might say, the horse is next to the flower bush. I might say the penguin is on top of the ice block. We're using other objects to describe where another object is. Motion can be in one or many directions at once. So this is an example of a curved motion, not when she lands, but this part right here. As she's spinning, her hands are staying in one spot, but her body is going in a curve. Now, a straight line, an example of this would be like when they're on the balance beam. So they are moving, but they're not going in a curve, they're moving in a straight line. So those are two examples of different types of motion. So we've got a curve, which is going around in a type of circular shape, and then a straight line, they are moving forward or backwards in a straight line. So how do we tell how objects are moved? We typically look at other objects in the frame. So we're going to look at the next picture of some penguins. And I want you to think about how can we tell what order this is happening in. So again, look for those reference points. Look for the objects around the penguins. So it's already labeled for you, but let's see how they figure this out. So number one, the penguin has just jumped from the top of the ice. We know gravity, things fall to the ground. So the first picture's got to be when he's up top because that has to happen first. Then he starts falling. Two, the penguin is between the top of the ice and the water. So, they're using the ice and the water as reference points in number two. And then lastly, the penguin is entering the water. Here's another example. I know that this has to be the first one because this is a ramp and he needs to put energy in to get up that ramp. So he starts here, he begins to put some force on his skateboard, up, and then he comes down. So we're using the reference point of the ramp and of the skateboard and of the objects in the background to see which direction he's moving. All right, same here. This is moving the opposite direction. I know that because in this picture, you can tell her leg is about ready to jump. And then in this one, she is over the hurdle. So it must be moving first, second, third, and then fourth. She's over the hurdle and she's running. Okay, let's see our Google form for today. I'll read you your questions. Keep in mind, all of your answers are here. So I would suggest keeping this open in another tab and then just clicking back and forth to find your answers. If you come visit me on Zoom from 2 to 4, I can share my screen so you can see the Google Slides on my screen instead of yours, and then we can work together. I'll tell you which slides to look for to get your answer. Number one, which is not an example of energy. So go back to your vocab and see what energy is again. Number two, a ball rolling down a hill is an example of kinetic or potential. Again, use the vocab. Three, a baseball bat sitting against a fence is an example of kinetic or potential. Four, Mrs. Miller was pushing a box of books across the floor. The bottom of the box will be hot because of. So what is it that makes heat when objects rub together? 5, running down a path is an example of which type of movement, straight line or curve? Swinging a rope in a circle is an example of which type of movement, straight line or curve? This one wants to know, does the movement begin with the first or the last picture? So where are we starting? Are we starting up here or do we start down here? And number 8, I just want you to write just one sentence, 1 or 2 sentences, explain how you figured this out. And it says give details from the picture to support your answer. So give me those reference points. Tell me what other objects you see here that helped you understand which way he was moving. All right, that's all we got for today. I hope you have a wonderful Monday, and we will see you tomorrow. Goodbye, Adams.